I just want to walk you through what exactly is the blueprint call. Now, on our first full call together, we're going to do what I always refer to as a blueprint call, right? And on the call, we're basically going to be outlining every component that we need, answering all of the questions that we need to answer. And after we've done that, we'll create the initial blueprint, or the kind of roadmap, so to speak, right, for the next steps that we're going to take together. Now, in order for us to build the blueprint, we're going to cover all of the following things to basically get our ducks in order, get our ducks in a row. So firstly, we're going to cover your offer. So what will you sell to people, and which people will you sell the offer to? So when you know that, how will you word your offer as well? Okay, so when you've decided, the who, the what, how are you going to word that? All right, so what will the headline on your opt-in page be, for example? Will you promise, let's say, a specific income as well, like, make 10K per month, or will you even promise maybe a job role instead? So build your own work from home recruitment business and so on. Just start to think about that stuff, right? Now, the offer can be broad or it can be specific, and this is going to dictate your audience size and the type of sales process that you actually use as well. So call funnel, webinar funnel, book funnel. This is how you're going to understand which one to pick. Okay, now if it's a broad audience, then you're going to be able to scale a lot further, and generally your ad costs are going to be lower because there's so many people that are there to actually receive your message. And due to that, you can charge a lower price, and you almost certainly won't need a back end straight away either, because it's very likely that you're going to be profitable on your just on your front end alone. We didn't have a back end for like 3 years, 4 years or something, because it just worked well. It cost us like £600 to make a £2,000 sale. So we could scale very far and make money on the front end. Now, if it's a small, more specific audience, you won't be able to scale as far or as fast, actually. And generally your ad costs are going to be higher just because there's less people that are there to hear your message, right? Now, you'll fight this by charging a higher price and also by having a back-end product suite as well. Or maybe you're either going to do that stuff, or you could even run a book funnel, liquidate your ad spend up front, and then just, get people on calls on the back end. But again, don't worry, we're going to talk about this on the blueprint call itself. This is just to help you understand what we're going to cover, get you thinking, get you exploring this stuff, and we'll dive into it together later and firm it all up. So that's that. Next, ask yourself, what problem do you solve? So honestly speaking, what problem are you going to be solving? When people get on a sales call with you, what is their problem going to be? Okay, what's stopping them from doing what they want to do? What's stopping them from getting the result that they want on their own? All that good stuff. Also, just think about, do you have a unique trading strategy that no one else does? Do you have a loophole that you found for selling products online? Do you know a specific sentence that, when said out loud, gets girls to go home with you? If you do, please share that with me, right? But jokes aside, just think about, what's your problem? What's your solution? What do you have that solves their problem, their pain, that gets them the result, right? And just what is that problem, that deep problem? And just get clear on the 1 or 2 exact problems that you solve. Okay, and then you can actually use these in your sales copy, on your sales page, in your ads, and your marketing material and everything. So you need to do this. It's really important because this informs everything else, right? Next, who is your avatar? So who specifically are you going to be targeting? Are they male? Are they female? Are they both? What industry are they in? How old are they? What countries do they live in? What countries are we going to target if we run ads? What do they like? What do they dislike? What do they hate? What do they love? How much money do they make? How much do they want to make, right? What kind of price point can they afford? And alongside that, how much savings do they have? Are they single? Are they married? All that good stuff. The clearer you are on who you want to speak to, the easier it's going to be to get that person on the phone, the easier it's going to be to speak to them in the ads, speak to them on the sales page, so on and so forth. Okay. Following on from that, what are you going to charge? So based on the above, what price are we going to charge for your front end offer? Now, this is going to depend on Again, whether your audience is specific or it's broad. And just also think about your back-end product suite. So just ask yourself, when people buy your front-end product, your main product, what problem is then created? Okay, because often when we buy something, one problem is solved and another is created. I'll give you a very simple example. If I buy a Porsche, I've solved my problem of being an egotistical bastard, right? I've got a car to show off in. But what problem is then created? Well, I've got to fucking put petrol in it. I've got to insure it. I've got to keep it safe. I've got to stop it getting scratched. I've got to put oil in it. All this stuff. You actually got to worry about it as well. So insurance, you've got to, you're worried about the car getting stolen, getting damaged. Now you've got to buy insurance, that kind of thing. As well, when I bought my my watch, this Rolex, I didn't even think about insurance. Insurance for this watch is like $1,500 a year, for God's sakes. I didn't even think about that. So I got the watch, and then all of a sudden, oh shit, I have the problem of now I need insurance, which is really annoying, So now I've got to go and give more money away. Just kind of think about that. One of my my more recent clients, they sell a drop shipping program, essentially. It has a great twist on that. But her back end is a marketing program. So she teaches how to do the product stuff, how to do the online store stuff. But then what's the next problem? Well, I've got a store, I've got a product, but how do I effectively sell it and effectively market it? That's the next problem that's created. Another example, you might learn how to get a high-paying software sales job. Well, what's the next problem? Actually getting the job, right? So could you partner with a recruitment firm and sell your clients into them for a fee? If you can, then you've just added literally an extra 50 to 100K plus to your business right there. And that's the purpose of a back end as well, just to increase LTV, help people solve the next problem, and just add more value to your customers and help them even more, make them love you even more, So following on from that, who are your competitors? How long have they been in business and how do they sell? Okay, now often you're going to have competitors who are doing it bigger, they've done it for longer, all of that good stuff. And whatever they are currently doing, they're doing it because it works, right? So make a list of your competitors who've been doing it bigger for longer. What's their funnel type? So do they run a book a call funnel? Do they have a book funnel? Do they have an auto webinar? Do they have a back end? And if they do, what products do they sell at what prices? And take all of that information, all right? And it may be an idea to do the same or something similar. So don't just rip them off. Don't just rip them off, man, because that's just disrespectful, and just a bit pathetic. But model them, right? So over the years, I mean, dude, people have copied us. People have ripped us off. People have tried to replicate what we do, but yeah, I won't go down that rabbit hole and I can get annoyed, but if something's working, it's working for a reason. And often there's pieces of the pie that are there still to be eaten, basically. So don't reinvent the wheel. Next, audience metrics. So what platforms, if any, do you have an audience on right now? So do you have, some followers on Twitter? Do you have an Instagram, a YouTube channel? Do you have an email list? If you do, then making money and nailing down your offer and your promise and everything is going to be very easy for you. Oftentimes, you can just run polls to your audience to understand any problems that they have, any help that they need. And that all comes together to help you create what I call a Godfather offer. And that is an offer that they can't refuse because it's exactly what they want. And they've told you that. So this is how you create a great Godfather offer. You just ask people what they want and then sell it to them. Right. Now, having an existing audience also means that you can make them offers or get calls booked without any paid ads. This makes your life a lot easier, a bloody lot easier. Now, I can hand you strategies to book a lot of sales calls immediately. And honestly, we can have money in the bank in like weeks, if not just days, using strategies like a reoffer or a 9-word email, running polls, and then DMing people that respond or stuff like that. Okay, that gets you leads, gets you calls, and then lines them up for you to just sell to really easily. It's powerful stuff, guys. Really powerful stuff, and I'll share that with you. So last three things, format and deliverables. So how are you going to sell your information? So are you going to use Word doc and Loom? Kind of like I am here. I'm not using Loom here, but I'm just using a Word document and a screen recorder and a microphone. And this is good for business stuff. This is just no bullshit. Let's just get you the info that you need to make money style, right? And for you guys, I think that's best. Or are you going to produce online course videos using PowerPoint, talking head videos? What is a good fit for your audience? Now, let me just say this, okay? Usually, lower quality actually works best. I've tried very high quality, and I've also just banged out simple PowerPoints, presentations, and the latter always work best. Okay, so I just wanted to add that in there. I'll get rid of that as well. Doesn't need to be there. But yeah, usually lower quality, actually, I know it's weird, but it works best, right? Because it's just no bullshit. You know, and excuse my language there, guys, but it really doesn't have to be as fancy as you think, guys. It really doesn't. Now, after you've decided on that, what else is going to be a part of your deliverables? So will you have weekly group coaching? Will you do one-to-ones like I do? Are they going to get email support? Are they going to have a success manager or their own coach? Just bring all that stuff together to just firm up your offer. Now, next to last, decide on your funnel type. Okay, so are you going to sell a high-ticket program over the phone using a sales call and a VSL? Are you going to write a book, sell the book using a book funnel, liquidate your ad spend, then get them on a sales call and close them? Or maybe you're going to run an auto webinar that runs without you in the background. Or you could even run a live webinar. Like one of my friends, well, in fact, one of my clients, actually, I call him a friend now, but one of my clients, Oliver Denya, does this very well. He's doing he said he was doing about 40K a week with one live webinar every week. So that's pretty good. You know, that's not too bad. That's a pretty good income. No ads either. That's just organic. YouTube, Instagram, getting leads, and then just getting their emails. And just once a week, guys, it's the weekly webinar time. Get on. I'm going to teach you at XYZ, add some value. Or end of the webinar. If you want to work with me, it's $2,000. There's the button. Ask me questions. Then he just stays on the webinar until all the questions are done. Some clients are in. Chill for another week. You know, it's pretty good. Now, the funnel type is going to rest on your deliverables and your price point. Okay, so the easiest thing to do is a sales call funnel. The reason is the unit economics are the most solid and the most scalable. But any of those funnels will work as long as they're built correctly. And don't worry, I'm going to help you decide which is best on our blueprint call. So again, just start thinking about this stuff, making notes, and we'll get to this on the blueprint call together. Now, lastly, budget for paid ads. So decide on a monthly budget for investing in paid traffic. And investing is a very key word there, because that's what it is. It's an investment. Now, I suggest no less than $2,000 a month. This comes to about $65 per day, dollars, pounds, whatever you like. You don't want to go any lower than this, because otherwise it's going to take you too long to see results and get feedback, right? And what I mean by that is, like, you've got to, let's say we build a VSL cold funnel right now. We turn ads on, right? It's going to take us 4, 5, 6 days. I mean, let's say that we were spending $65 a day, right? It's going to take us 4, 5 days, maybe 6 days to just let all the numbers settle, get enough data so that we can make decisions on what's good and what's bad. So you would have to spend like 300, 400, 500-ish just to buy the data, right? Now, if you were spending 200 a day, then we can see that in about 2 to 3 days. If you were spending like 20 per day, it would take like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 days to buy that data. So it just depends on your budget and how fast you want to move as well, in terms of how much you spend. Okay, Hopefully that makes sense. Again, when you first launch ads, you're just buying data and figuring out what works, which in some cases can take time. Now, from my experience, 7 out of 10 offers, they're just profitable from day one and they work right off the bat. And the reason for that is because I'm pretty good at building offers. I'm pretty good at building funnels. I know exactly what the infrastructure has to look like. I know what the numbers have to look like. So if I launch 10 funnels, 7 are going to be profitable month one, more or less, because I know what I'm doing after so many years doing this now. The other 3, though, they're going to need some tweaking. We might need to rewrite the ads. We might need to rewrite the BSL. We might need to change the promise on the opt-in. Blah, blah, blah. Might have to adjust the offer before we get there, but we will get there. Okay, these things just take time. So just a gentle warning here, spending money on ads is a risk. And obviously there's no promise that you'll be profitable from month one. I mean, really, there's no promise you'll ever be profitable. You know, if you're selling how to write love letters to your girlfriend and sell that as an offer, hey, it might work, it might not, you know. I don't know. I've never done that offer. But you know what I mean? You know, that's a stupid example. It's an extreme example, but you know, it just comes down to so many different factors: offer, market, economic conditions, budget, how good you are at sales, how good you are at marketing, how long you work with me for. You know, you might stop working with me after 2 months and get stuck again on your own, blah, 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 blah. You know, do you have an audience? Do you not? Blah, blah, blah. Loads of factors. So please only spend money on ads that you can afford to lose whilst you're getting everything solid and you're dialing everything in. So that's it for this video, guys. Just to recap this stuff, work on your offer, think about the problem that you solve, who is your avatar, what are you going to charge, who are your competitors and what are they doing, do you have any audience metrics, any platforms that you're big on or that you have followers on, what is your format and deliverables going to be, what funnel type are you going to run, and what's your budget for paid ads if you have one. So think about all this stuff, and if you can, I'd suggest you to actually make notes on all this stuff and fully fill it out for when we get on the blueprint call. And it's just going to save time for both of us. You can do more thinking, you know, so I'm not just throwing this stuff at you off the bat. And it's going to make both of our lives easier, and we can basically get out there and make money faster, which is, let's be honest, that's what you're here for, to make money as fast as possible. And that's okay with me, because that's something that I'm pretty good at, generally. So I hope that helps, guys. Any questions, we can cover them on the blueprint call. I look forward to speaking to you on that call very soon.